Paul McCartney sat in the Asher family's basement music room at 57 Wimpole Street, strumming chords on the upright piano when inspiration struck in February 1964. He'd been living in the tiny top-floor bedroom of his girlfriend Jane Asher's family home since late 1963, surrounded by stacks of gold records shoved under his bed and a simple notice board with a Jean Cocteau drawing pinned up with thumbtacks. The basement room was cramped but peaceful, just a small piano, sofa, and music stand where Paul often escaped to write. What emerged that day would become one of his most enduring ballads, though it nearly didn't happen at all. The song's creation was tied to a bizarre paparazzi incident that had spooked Paul and Jane at a London theatre. They'd been sitting quietly during intermission when suddenly 10 photographers burst in like characters from Fellini's Dolce Vita, cameras flashing frantically before disappearing just as quickly. The theatre had likely tipped them off the publicity, but the intrusion rattled Paul. Later, in that basement room, he found himself wanting to express his feelings for Jane in song. Precisely because Jane was my girlfriend, I wanted to tell her there that I loved her, so that's what initially inspired this song. Recording the song proved frustratingly difficult for the Beatles. They first attempted it on February 25, 1964, with their usual electric setup, but the result felt wrong. The next day brought 17 more takes as they experimented with the arrangement. Ringo switched from drums to bongos, while John and George moved to acoustic guitars. Still unsatisfied, they returned on February 27th. During the second day's session, publisher Dick James witnessed something remarkable. George Martin approached John and Paul during a tea break, suggesting the repetitive song needed a middle section. Within 13 minutes, Lennon and McCartney had crafted the bridge, while Rhodey Mal-Everans fetched sandwiches. The final recording session on February 27th produced the magic in just 2 takes. George Harrison's contribution proved crucial. Not only did he spontaneously create the opening guitar riff that became the song's signature hook, but he played it on a Jose Ramirez classical guitar that gave the track its distinctive Spanish flavor. Paul later credited Harrison with making a stunning difference to the song, admitting the song is nothing without that opening riff. George Martin's suggestion to modulate the key upward during the solo from F-sharp minor to G minor added the sophisticated touch that elevated the arrangement beyond typical pop fare. Despite Paul's 1984 claim that it's just a love song, it wasn't for anyone, the evidence suggests otherwise. Written in Jane's family home during their passionate romance, inspired by their shared theatre experience, and crafted with the specific intention of telling her he loved her, and I love her, is one of the most personal ballads in the Beatles' catalogue. The song marked Paul's first serious attempt at ballad writing, with John Lennon even going so far as to call it Paul's first yesterday.